on the turning away from the pain and downtrodden, the ones the world says we won't understand. Yeah, it's not enough to accept that what's happening is just a case of all the suffering, or we'll find that we're part of the turning away. Now, I want y'all to think with me, please. This is an exercise in logic, if you will. I've been turning away for about 54 years, turning my back on what I know is, true and right, and not as evil as some people say, and I'm talking about marijuana, talking about smoking it. Having a hill or two out in the woods ain't bothering nobody. Yeah, I'm talking about smoking it, even growing it. How could anything that has kept me from in depression or PTSD from, pulling the trigger while I'm sucking on the barrel, I've sucked on a barrel a time or two, but I've never pulled the trigger. And in 54 years of being depressed or having bad memories, intrusive thoughts I can't escape, perhaps even the depression is part of the PTSD, having those symptoms and just utter despair, the one thing that's got me through, heck, 75%, 50% of the time, anytime you prevent suicide, 50% of the time it's a damn good thing, and it's marijuana that did it. I'm saying 75, 50 is a conservative estimate. This is the deal. When I have a hill, a weed out in the woods, I don't even care if it ain't even budding, and I can look forward to going out there, snatching a couple lug leaves off and smoking it, and feeling a little better as I'm walking home, and kind of forgetting the intrusive thoughts and finding a new plane of reality to look at the world with, or through, or from. I say this good stuff. I say you cannot legislate a plant. I say that Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, I believe, is true and correct. The Lord gave us every plant and every seed-bearing plant to, for our benefit. It's all here for our benefit. It was all designed by a very thoughtful, sentient, what's it called? A designer, a primary designer. You can't have order without design. The known universe is full of order. It's caused by a designer. You want to read his book, it's written in DNA, 4-letter code, ATGC. Just sequence some DNA. Do your thing. Or do like them mad-ass one-worlders are doing and learn that language and then genetically modify everything else through plasmid transvectoring or shoot, you could put some recombinant DNA in a vaccine and you could program people and not just plants. But you driving along the road, you see that GMO sign, DeKalb, or whatever other great agricultural co-op, and you see GMO, well, that's some plants that have been made better through the science of God's language as written in the DNA. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm not turning away anymore. I am going to use my ability and my resources to manufacture, distribute, and grow and smoke, consume marijuana. It's not evil. I do at great risk, but I have thought about the great risk, and I am willing to passively resist the status quo until change occurs. Got a great question for you. Why is marijuana legal in Colorado but illegal in Kansas? Here's the great answer I came up with. Because the police, powers that be, judges, lawyers, etc., people who treat, people who are probation officers, etc., in the great state of Colorado finally figured out that there's more money to be made by legalizing it and taxing it. And in fact, you'll find that most of those weed stores are owned by cops and lawyers and judges and legislators and etc. And they found out that it's better, more financially beneficial to the state to legalize and tax it than it is to interdict. Currently in Kansas, all of the judges, lawyers, and people who vote, and legislators, and people who bend arms to make laws, they are still stuck on the idea that they can finance their local and state government through fines and probation charges and nifty things called diversion charges. You know, keep the money in the local government, county government, not in state government. Anyway, they figure through interdiction and maintaining its illegality to an extreme degree, they can make more money. You know, they're making money, for instance, by the fact that you get a DUI upon your second marijuana charge. Or actually, it's like you get your license revoked. You get 2 marijuana charges. Oh, and the second one's a felony. So then you got your felony probation charges. They're hella gonna get some money from a weed head around here. Kansas. Woohoo! Well, Dorothy, you ain't Kansas no more. You're in a country with 50 states, and all of them have a great degree of autonomy with regard to local rules and regulations. Kansas, you see your greatest minds wandering on up the road so they can smoke weed without having a felony. You know, they can smoke weed and hunt for the rest of their life. So, Kansas, say goodbye to motherfucking smart people. Say goodbye to the money you think you're making. Say goodbye to the money you could be making. And say hello to hell. Oh. I'm out.